We're here. We're here. We are here again.
Yes, we are.
Man,
So
that last episode.
that last episode,
Woo!
that lit a fire. That lit a fire.
Woo!
So once again, Clay from Brooklyn, football with the fellas. Who am I here with?
It's your man Mayzo. It's all about Big Blue. And
Yes, sir.
if you see me in the last episode, I'm still shaking my head. I'm still shaking my head. You know what? Real quick, for those of y'all who might have missed it, please go back and check it out. You missed something else. It was amazing. Clay from Brooklyn, man. Clay, he came up with this. I'll say wild. It was wild, wild transaction that we can do with the mock draft, with the free agency, and in the mock draft, and it came out to where, as I can remember, because my mind is still like blown, that we would go to Miami. Would you want to tell them what it was?
Sure. So what I basically did is I bought their second round pick with our cap space. So if you go back to the last episode, you'll see in more detail how we did it. But the long story short is I used some of our cap space because they are over the cap right now. They don't have much cap space. They don't have any cap space, and they won't have much when the season starts for next year, when the league year starts. So they're going to lose some of their players that are already on the team and are about to be free agents. And I was trying to find a way to help them keep what I consider their best free agent by using our money to sign him with. And then we trade him back to them for their second round pick.
That is that's as crazy as that movie Draft Day. It's like it's crazy. Matter of fact, that would, if you did this, you could have the sequel to that movie.
Exactly.
If that works, someone's gonna pick this up though. Watch. We're gonna hear about this.
We're gonna hear about this. So I want to give a shout out to Coach Dable, who
oh boy.
I won't tell you who, but another Giants content creator was selling these shirts a couple of years ago, back in 2022, when we had our one playoff year in the last million years. And I was so enamored with that team back then. I said, let me get one of those t-shirts. Suffice to say that I haven't been as enamored with the Giants since, but I still have the t-shirt. So now the season's over. Now we're moving on to next year. I'm ready to give Brian Dable a little bit of love. Not Joe Shane, but Brian Dable a little bit of love and see if he can turn us around next year.
Shane gets no love.
None. All right, so we ended last episode, which was supposed to be Mock Draft Monday, with the prelude to the mock draft. We got that extra second round pick from Miami. But it took so long to explain it and to get it done, and we didn't actually do the draft, but now we're going to do the draft. Okay. So I'm going to show you once again the PFF.com. Shout out to PFF.com. Thank you for having this mock draft simulator that we like. And here we are with the third overall pick. And I'm going to say, should we do another 3-round?
Can we just do 4? Let's do 4.
Let's do 4 rounds today. Okay, we haven't done a 4 round yet.
All right. Have you found out a way that I can get Cam Ward? Have you found a way?
That I haven't done yet. And I suspect that will not be the case this time. Because usually I think I told you this, when I run this mock draft simulator as though we're the Giants, then Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders typically go first and second, so we can't have them. But I've done it a few times as the Patriots or as the Jaguars or as the Raiders, some team after us, just to see what would happen. And when I do that, sometimes one of those quarterbacks falls to the Giants. So it's almost like the simulator is saying, oh, you want to be the Giants? Well, then you can't have a quarterback.
That would be us. We wouldn't have had a problem. We'd win that game at the end of the season, right?
If we hadn't beat Indy, we would be in Tennessee's position right now, the first overall pick of the draft. All right, I'm going to slow this down just a little bit more. All right, so the way I have it set up now, we're doing a 4-round mock at fast, but not turbo fast.
Right.
We're splitting the draft board between the public and PFF about halfway. Positional value about halfway. Draft for needs a little less than halfway. And we are the Giants, so we're going to enter the draft and see what happens.
Oh, man.
And as I predicted,
it did.
Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders are gone. So those were his first 2 picks because we were the Giants. Fine. So here's what I'm going to do now, if you don't mind, because if I just make this pick, actually I have time because our second round pick is before the Miami second round pick. So that's fine.
I
All
know
right, so you tell me, what do you want to do here?
you know what? Can we? I know it's early, but who's behind us?
Right behind us is New England, and then Jacksonville, and then the Raiders, Jets, Panthers, the Saints, and the Bears round out the top 10.
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I want you to go to like
Trades.
yeah, looking at trades. What would the Patriots want? What would the move up want?
So the algorithm is telling me that they don't think the Patriots would want to move up one spot. And in
Okay.
fact, they don't even think the Jags would want to move up two spots. The first trade team they're offering us is the Raiders at pick number 6.
Oh, it's too far back.
Now, I've done this before, and sometimes it lets Jacksonville trade with us. I don't think I've actually seen it let New England trade with us with the 4th pick, but it plays it out differently each time. So right now, the first pick we can trade back down to is pick number 6 with the Raiders. Do you think that's too far?
There's 6.
Yeah,
I don't want to go back to 6.
I didn't think so.
I don't want to go back to 6
because I think you want one of the next 2 players, either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter.
Right.
That's what I was thinking too, that if we could get either of them, we would be in good shape. So moving back one spot, I get it. We're definitely guaranteed to get one of them. And maybe we just add a second or third round pick or whatever from New England. But the algorithm is not letting me do that right now. So who would you want to pick between Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter?
Man, the way they're talking about Abdul Carter, I'm like, and I've seen him too. You know what? I'm going out on. I want Abdul Carter.
All right, that's not going on a limb. That man's a beast. That is a great pick. And you see, I'm going to pause it here.
Who took Travis?
I'm going to next pick. New England took Travis.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then Ted McMillan, and then Mason Graham, Malachi Stark. So a lot of the guys who we would have expected are gone now.
Yeah. Now we got our like Micah Parsons type of guy.
Right. Who we thought Kayvon Thibodeau was supposed to have been when we drafted him, but he didn't turn out to be that. Right. He's a good player, but he's not that. He's Robin. He's not Batman.
Will he play opposite? Will they play opposite though?
Well, Brian Burns is the person who's going to play opposite, but they'll be in rotation. And I like that. I mean, that's what Philly does. They just send him in waves. I wouldn't mind having, Brian Burns gets, 50 snaps, Abdul Carter gets 45, and Kayvon gets 40, that kind of thing, so that everybody's still fairly well rested and always able to give you their best. That'd be fine.
I like that, though. I like that.
That would be fine. All right, so before I make this pick, this is when I want to make this trade. So we said that we were going to get Miami's pick, number 48. Now, the problem is we can't really
do the buy-in.
Trade them Javon Holland because we don't have him.
Right.
So I'm going to, just for the sake of this simulator, let's see. I'm going to offer them Brian Burns. Now, I know we don't really want to trade Brian Burns. I'm just doing this because you see now it says this trade has a 62% chance to be accepted. I'm doing it just so we get the draft pick.
Oh, because you almost threw my hat through the thing at you.
All right, so it didn't accept it, but I can click on force this trade, and now it has to do it, right? I didn't show you that last time. The force this trade option is your way of saying I'm going to override the algorithm. I know the algorithm says it's not a fair trade. Do it anyway. Now, again, I traded them Brian Burns. Really what I'm trading them is Javon Holland, their own player, back. Okay, but now we're back at the 34th pick, but we also have that 48th pick. So you tell me what. So we remember, who did we pick? Abdul Carter.
Yes.
Right? And you see we got 34, then 48, then 65. We got some nice opportunities here.
48.
So do you have a particular player in mind? Do you have a position in mind? What would you like to look at? There's that young man, Siobhan Revel, that cornerback out of East Carolina that I was saying that was
He's
pretty
really
highly
good.
rated. Here's TJ Sanders, a interior defensive lineman. I think he's really more defensive end than tackle.
We talked about it as far as man, you know what? I'm thinking now that the lineman from KC, the one we said
You mean the Trey Smith,
Trey Smith.
right?
That's what we're gonna go after. We talked
Either
about
him or Will Fries from Indy. Those are the two guards I think are the best guards on the market. But we wouldn't be able to do that now. Now we're just in the draft.
no. Well, I'm thinking about the guys we're talking about going after in
I see.
our strategy wise. So
Are we making the assumption that we already got at least one
right,
of them?
right.
Got you. Right. So then we have less of a need for a guard if we sign one of them.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
How's that guy that tackle Josh Connery?
He looked pretty good at the Senior Bowl week. He did have one bad thing happen to him, is that one of the defensive ends ran right through him, knocked him on his butt. But that was his only really bad play. He played very well other than that. He's a solid looking young man. I'll click on him and show you. Again, PFF has their grades that I don't necessarily take at face value, but they did grade him at 83.5 in pass blocking, which is very, very good, and 72.5 in run blocking, which is solid. And he's 6'4", 315. So 6'4" is, believe it or not, is a little on the short side for a tackle. But I don't remember what his arm's length was, because that can make up for that. And, he's effective. He's an effective offensive lineman. Would he have to get kicked inside the guard? Maybe, but we'll see.
Oh man, I wanted somebody else on the line.
Well, then let's do this. Let's click here where it says filter by positions and click on offensive tackles. So this young man, Erante Ursary, I think is how you say his name, is someone who's been highly regarded moving up draft boards. His numbers are similar, not quite as good in the pass blocking, solid. He is 6'6", 330, if that matters to you. If size, if height.
Well, let me see Donovan Jackson. Donovan Jackson from Ohio State.
Donovan Jackson is really a guard. He was forced to play left tackle this year because their left tackle got hurt. He's really a guard. And I think a very good guard. I mean, he's listed at tackle because that's where he played this year, but I think his future in the league is at guard. But I like him. I think he's going to be a very good prospect at guard. You see his basically a 70 pass block rate at left tackle, which is not really his position. And it wasn't even right tackle. It was left tackle. Like, he was the guy that they were counting on, and did a very solid job, to be honest. So I would say that
if I'm looking at grades, I would go with the first one we had on there. From Ohio. Josh Connery.
Josh Connery from Oregon, actually.
Right, from Oregon.
Right.
Let's grab him.
Just so you know, if we
safety though is like
look at the interior offensive lineman, I like this young man, Jared Wilson from Georgia, but I don't love him. I think he's going to be okay. I wouldn't pick him with the 34th pick in the draft.
And that safety, is that safety from South Carolina? Is it that's who it was that you were talking about earlier too?
Oh yeah, he's gone. I'm not positive, but I would be shocked if he's not gone. Let's take a quick look. Nicky Manwari is his name. What? Oh, he's not gone yet.
I want him.
Yes,
I want him.
No further questions. Good call.
That's the guy I was looking for.
He's gone by the end of the first round.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah. He's almost always gone by the end of the first round. So I'm shocked that he was still there. But if he's still there, I want him. That man, I'm telling you, that young man is going to be a beast. All right, so here's that 48th pick that we basically bought from Miami. Again, not for Brian Burns. We just had to do that to make the simulator work. And so now, again, let's take a look at what we have. We have Abdul Carter coming off the edge. We got Nicky Manwari at safety / hybrid linebacker.
Man, that's
we
good.
could use some beef on the line, though, on either line, offensive or defensive line. And there's still This young man right here, Omar Norman Lott, is more of a pass rusher than a run stuffer, but not a bad run stuffer. 6'3", 315. Looks like someone who will be a solid pro. I wouldn't mind him. Jalen Walker is a very good prospect at linebacker, but we need somebody over 300 pounds. Is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, somebody next to Sexy Dexy.
Either next to Sexy Dexy or playing, on the offensive line. I just think the line of scrimmage, we should not skip the line of scrimmage 3 times.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
Can't do it.
No, we can't.
So you tell me, you wanted to keep working on the defensive side of the ball and beef up the defense, or should we look for offensive line?
Offense, I got it in the first 3. I got to get.
All right. So that first 3 gentlemen is still there. Donovan Jackson is still there. Wyatt Millen, the guy who I thought was going to be like this chess piece you can move across the whole line, and then I saw him at the Senior Bowl week, and he just didn't look quite as good as I thought he would be.
Okay.
Solid player. If he's still there at 65 in the 3rd round, I would definitely take him, but I'm not sure, based on what I saw when he was playing against, the best of the country, I'm not sure he's 48th overall worthy.
Let me look at
this
Cameron, from the guy from Texas.
Yeah, he's slow-footed. I watched him.
Okay.
He's slow-footed. He's a solid blocker once he gets his hands on you, but he's just not that quick. This young man, Anthony Belton, was at the Senior Bowl week, and he looked very good. I'm not saying, again, I'm not necessarily saying we should pick him right now, but he's someone I keep an eye on. Big boy, 6'6", 335. And he was another one that during Senior Bowl week, when he got his hands on you, that play was over.
We need somebody like that, though. We need a guy like that.
We do. I'm not, again, he's ranked 85th by PFF, and we're picking 48th. Just to give you some context. Now, again, are they always right? Of course not. But just to give you some context, Erante Ursary, they ranked him as 51st. So he would be someone they would think is a good value here. Donovan Jackson's is ranked 58th. Again, I'm not saying we should go exactly by them, but there are reasons that these people are ranked where they're ranked.
Right.
Young man Omar Norman Lott is ranked 47th. They like him.
Who do you like here? I need somebody in the line, so I don't want.
I need somebody in the line too. It's got to be line of scrimmage to me. It's hard for me to say that we should pick.
Schools had really good running attacks.
Defensive linemen when we haven't picked anyone on offense yet at all, and we have 2 defensive players already. But you don't want to shop hungry, as they say. Maybe we had signed B.J. Hill. That was another person that we were talking about in the free agency.
Yeah.
So maybe we've already got somebody on the interior defensive line in the free agency period that takes that off of the front burner, so to speak. So
Notre Dame is on there? No, Notre Dame.
I don't see one in this particular.
They usually have really big tackles.
Yeah, no, they in Wisconsin tend to put out very good offensive linemen, but I don't see one right now.
No.
So Mr. Ursary would not be a bad pick. Donovan Jackson would not be a bad pick. I think I like Donovan Jackson better, to be honest. And it's not like we don't need guards. And like I said, he did play tackle this year, so it's not like he can't play tackle. I just think his future is at guard. I think maybe all said and done, like his grades weren't as good, but again, he was playing out of position.
Go back to what's his name?
Ursary?
Yes. What was he? His grades are?
Yeah, his grades are better.
A little bit better. Well, they should be at the way they rank him.
You know what? That's not a bad pick. That may not be a bad pick. I can't say that I know enough about him. I haven't watched that much of him. I watched a little bit. I watched his highlights, and everybody looks good in their highlights. I haven't actually watched his games. But I wouldn't be mad at him at 48.
Let's grab him.
All right.
Hold on for trade.
Now, we're in the third round now. Keep in mind, we still haven't drafted a quarterback. Now, again, we're assuming that we signed a quarterback in free agency, but we probably want one in the draft also, right? I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
there's a good chance that, oh, Darius Alexander, I like that young man. Um, there's a good chance that we're going to need a quarterback in a couple of years, even if the one in free agency we signed
Who is left?
gets through well, surprisingly, a lot of people. Again, I'm not a big Dylan Gabriel fan. I'm not a big Jalen Milroe fan, but they're both still here. Will Howard, Riley Leonard, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, and then finally Kyle McCord. And of these guys, the two
Kyle
that I
McCord.
like the most are Kyle McCord and Jackson Dart. I don't know why they're ranked lower than so many of these other guys, but by PFF and other people for that matter. But I think Kyle McCord is the best of this bunch. I think he's the third best quarterback in this draft, and I think Jackson Dart is the fourth best.
Let
But
me look at click on them on Dart because they say he's a
I mean,
gunslinger. He's
his
a
completion percentage was 77.7. That's very high, right? I mean, he's got decent, he's got not decent, very good numbers. The question is, does that translate into production?
right, right.
On a pro level. And it's hard to say until he gets here. He's not a little guy, 6'2", 225. Like that's a solid size for a
Yeah, it's good
quarterback.
size.
And Kyle McCord is also not a little guy. For some reason, his page isn't loading right now, but I believe he's also about 6'2", 215, 220. And, his numbers are very solid, right? These 75% completion percentage. His average depth of target was 8.8, which is pretty good. Jackson Darts was 11. I mean, that's outstanding. Meaning that he was
You want
throwing
to
the ball
look at?
downfield.
Let's look at that grades by the game. By the game, look at that right there
This over here?
on the right
Yeah,
side. On the right
right,
side.
right. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
you see the graphic. The first one is 74.2, and then 90.4, and
right, right, right.
I want to see the bigger games. This is
This
Kyle
this is
McCord.
Kyle
Yeah.
McCord, right. So like that game against Miami where they beat Miami and knocked them out of the playoffs,
Yep.
he had a very good game in that game. And and I watched that game a couple of times. And I saw it, live when it happened, but then I rewatched it a couple of times.
Good game against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Who's the 91.5 against? Who's right above Pitt?
Um,
Oh,
I don't know who that is, to be
wonder who
honest.
that is. He played really well against Georgia Tech too. I saw that game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a solid player.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to go to the Pro Bowl, but of the people that are left, I think it should be Kyle McCord or at worst Jackson Dart, but I would take McCord over Dart.
Grab McCord. We've talked about him.
All right. So we have one pick left in this 4-round mock. And here it is. So you see now in the 4th round, we're back to having the 3rd pick, right? Because the first 3 teams had the same record, each round you move up.
Oh, okay.
They rotate. So we had the 3rd pick in the 1st round. We had the 2nd pick in the 2nd round. We had the 1st pick in the 3rd round, number 65, one we just used on the quarterback. And now we're back to 3rd pick again for the 4th round. So
Can I just for giggles? Can you show me what receivers are available?
Sure.
Because Darius Slayton will be gone probably.
Slayton will be gone. This young man, Jalen Noel, looked very good in the Senior Bowl.
He is good.
Solid looking receiver. What concerns me is that he's 5'11", but and not to say you have to be big to be a receiver anymore. Like that's not necessarily the case. But we have a Wan'Dale Robinson, little guy darting around in the slot.
Yeah,
I think, and honestly, Leak isn't that big, so I think a big-bodied receiver would be a nice compliment just to kind of round out what we have. So I did like Jalen Noel in the Senior Bowl, but I don't think he's the guy that we need.
Oh,
Um,
he's gone.
but
Colorado receivers are good.
I
Colorado.
don't know much about these other guys, to be honest.
No.
Which doesn't mean they're not good, but I'm far from finished. But I don't know much about them. Ty Felton looked pretty good in the Senior Bowl. Was it Senior Bowl? Now I can't remember if it was the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl.
Right.
He looked pretty good, and he's a bigger bodied guy.
6'2",
He's
180.
6'2", 185, so he's a taller guy. He's not a big bodied guy. He's a taller guy. This young man actually had a pretty good week in the Senior Bowl, Efton Chisholm, and had some nice catches. He's a slot receiver, but he had 5'11", 200. But he was constantly getting open and never dropping the ball, so he looked pretty good. Here's Sam
Look
Brown
at
on
Will
the
Shepard from Colorado. I've seen it. I watched them
Will
play.
Shepard and Jimmy Horn are both from
Yeah,
Colorado.
okay, yeah. Jimmy Horn's good. These guys are good. Let me see what I forgot how big they weren't. That
Jimmy
one
Horn's
is
tiny.
taller.
Jimmy Horn's a little guy. Yeah. Yeah, 5'10",
He's
170.
5'10", and what's in?
170. That's not okay.
He's real little.
Yeah.
But he can catch.
Yeah, but
I don't want a small guy. I'm looking for a bigger guy.
yeah. And Samuel Brown was one of the guys that Cam Ward was throwing to. 6'2", 195. Again, I'm not saying that size means you're good, but
we need a taller receiver for
you need a taller receiver.
for the red zone actually.
Yeah, and just to move the chain, sometimes you need a guy who can go up and get the ball in 3rd and 5, catch that little 6-yard slant.
I wish the Miami tight end was available, and I would convert him into a.
Let's see if he's available. We haven't looked for tight ends. He probably is, to be honest. Aronde Gatz from Syracuse is a good pass catching tight end as well. No, unfortunately, he does not
He's
seem.
already gone.
Arroyo is still here.
I would have made him. He made him a. He's that
Yeah,
guy.
that's surprising. I think Arroyo typically lasted a fourth. Elijah Arroyo is his name. Typically lasted a 4th round, but I guess not this time because we wanted him.
That's right. That was gonna be that's gonna be that other pick. It'd been like, oh man, it'd been great.
Oh, I like this young man, Jordan Phillips. He looked
World.
very good in the Senior Bowl, defensive tackle. 6'3", 320, big boy. I mean, not huge, but good sized young man that looked good. You know what? It's the 4th round. You're not expecting this person to step in and be a Pro Bowler.
Right.
You want somebody with traits that you think you can build on and that maybe fills a position of need. So if you think wide receivers what the next big need is, we can pick one of the wide receivers.
Well, we're gonna lose.
We're gonna lose Darius Slayton. You're right.
Right, we're losing Slayton. And the next guy up is maybe
Jalen
Jalen,
Hyatt, who we haven't shown any confidence in.
which is ridiculous. There's not. I was gonna say there's not one Ohio State receiver left. I tell you, Will Shepard or the other Colorado guy was taller, was bigger. I would pick one of them because they made some really nice catches. Jimmy Horn, they made nice catches, but they're small.
Yeah. Well, Samuel Brown isn't small.
What's his he is yep, he is.
I mean, his stats don't jump out at you by any means. But he's 6'2", 195, and I know he was obviously Elijah Arroyo and Xavier Restrepo were the 2 big targets for the Cam Ward. But he was the 3rd one. He was the guy that they went to when those 2 were taken away.
They don't have any 40 times in this, do they?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Because we need, it'd be nice. Oh, that kid from it's a kid from LSU. What's it? Let's pick
And again, it doesn't have to be a receiver. I'm just saying, there's still Jared Wilson, that center from Georgia. There's still Jordan Phillips, that defensive tackle from Maryland. There's still some other people who were impressive.
You said, wait a minute, what was that? Was that another lineman at the
Oh, Savion Jones was another one who was impressive. He actually was pretty impressive uh, the young man who Gray Zabel, offensive lineman, uh, who I really liked in Senior Bowl, when the game happened, that first drive, they lined up Savion Jones opposite Gray Zabel, and he just had his way with Gray Zabel. He just was abusing him.
Is he an edge rusher? Is he?
He's a defensive end. Like he's 6'6", 280. He was playing like 3 tech. He was just outside the guard, and the guard being Gray Zabel. Sometimes head up with him, sometimes on his inside shoulder, sometimes on his outside shoulder, and he looked very good. I mean, that I didn't even realize he was still on the board. That's someone I can definitely see adding to the roster, even though we have picked a few defensive players already. We haven't picked a defensive tackle or end for that matter. So that might not be a bad pick, to be
We
honest.
got one offensive lineman, right? Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
Since we don't actually love any of these wide receivers, rather than force that pick, I think this is a player we will be happy to have had.
Grab him there. This would be a good draft.
Yeah, no, listen, I would be thrilled. Well, I'd be thrilled if we get Cam Ward. So I guess I wouldn't be thrilled, but I would be pleased.
You'd be all right with it.
Right, with this one.
Wow, it's amazing that Jackson Dart's still available.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think that's going to happen in real life, but
Just go to the I know we did all ours right just now, right? We finished with
no, we have this pick 133.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
I know we already got our quarterback. Just click on the quarterback. I just want to see who's left at this time.
Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, Jackson Dart. That's basically the big names. Tyler Sheff was also one of the ones from the Senior Bowl, but he wasn't very impressive.
He's that older guy. Yeah.
But we could pick Jackson Dart and say, listen.
We already got
Right. I'm just saying, if you wanted to, we could pick them both and say, let's see which one of you turns out better.
Or like the
Washington
team did.
Yeah, when they picked RG3 and then Kirk Cousins in the same draft.
You know what?
I'm not saying we should do that, but it wouldn't be, crazy to say, well, we don't love either one of you. We think both of you have potential. Battle it out. Let's see who wins.
We only picked one lineman though. Oh, wait a minute. Did we pick we got an edge rusher there. We got a tackle.
Basically, we have Abdul Carter's an outside linebacker. They call him an edge rusher, but he's a linebacker, right? He's not 300 pounds. He's 255 pounds, whatever. Nicky Manwari is going to be a hybrid safety linebacker. Ursui is going to certainly be a tackle part of the time, if not all the time, but he might also kick into guard. And Savion Jones is more of a defensive end than an outside linebacker and can probably play defensive tackle, especially on passing downs. So that's what we have so far. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with double dipping in something, right? There's no reason we can't have another whatever, because it's not like we know for a fact all these guys are going to work out.
Right.
And it's not like we don't need depth, right? I don't think there's any position that we're deep at.
No, we're not deep at. No, really, no.
Tyler Batty was another one who looked solid at the Senior Bowl. Now, do we need a third edge rusher? I'm not sure if we do. But,
no. Barrel Trevor. That's the Etienne brother. He's one of
yeah. I don't love him, to be honest. He's okay. He's okay. But you know who I did love is Miami's running back, Damian Martinez. I think he's a very good, short yardage power back that I don't think we have that yet on our team. Is he still on the board? It looks like he's gone.
Someone thought the same thing you did.
Somebody thought the same thing I thought. Exactly. Looks like he's gone. Another guy I liked a lot, you're going to see this, Thor. I think I mentioned him. Thor Griffith.
Oh, you mentioned him. Yeah.
This man is a physical freak. He is a beast physically. Solid, very good run defender. He's not going to give you that much in the pass rush, although 69.2 is not bad at all. He's only 6'2", 320, but he did 45 bench reps with 225. He is a beast. And I don't know if we could do worse than having somebody who is that big and strong. I mean, he's only 6'2", but he's 320 and that strong for short yardage. Like, again, we're late in the fourth round now. We're looking for traits and or, some kind of specialization.
Is he somebody I could put next to Dexter?
Yes.
Is that and the way I've been looking at this one we're doing is, like I'm trying to go old school, and we're thinking about like, we got to get the lines go inside out.
Right. The line of scrimmage is important.
Yeah,
I would be happy to take Thor Griffith here, to be honest.
But click on Thor. Click on him again. He's what?
Thor Griffith or Teddy Buchanan is another one, is a linebacker who is a tackling machine, led the nation in tackles.
Rush.
If he's still on the board, I would say one of the two of them would make me happy at this point.
He played for the Cardinals, for Louisville.
Yeah, he played for Louisville. And I mean, he had a very good game against against Miami.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
That is, but he had an okay game against Notre Dame, against Clemson, against Stanford,
Georgia Tech too.
They've played some teams.
Yeah, and who's the other guy you talked about?
I'm sorry?
Who was the other one you talked about?
Teddy Buchanan, the linebacker from Cal, who led the nation in tackles, if I remember correctly. There he is.
Oh, wait, you know what? We said are we taking an assumption that we got BJ Hill, did we say?
Yes. I mean, assumption is a strong word, but yes, let's work from that premise.
Right.
That certainly would be my goal.
And BJ would, let me see, and then
again, he's an interior defensive lineman.
Right. So BJ, and then he got somebody next to Dexter, and that linebacker wouldn't be bad at one point though. If we had BJ, Dexter and Abdul.
That's not bad. And Brian Burns.
Brian Burns. That defense is improved like immensely right there.
And Nick Emanwari.
Right.
And still got Bobby Okereke. And Drew Phillips in the slot.
That means, we would have to like bias like a couple of linemen.
I mean, I think that you can't fix everything, but that would make for a very attractive looking defense.
Give me Teddy Buchanan.
All right, let's do it. Don't twist my arm to trick Teddy Buchanan. I think he's going to be a good player. All right. So again, they give you a grade on your draft, and they don't like Nick Emanwari. I don't care. They're wrong. Nick Emanwari is a beast.
Wow. They don't like McCord either.
They don't like McCord either, and I don't care. And they don't like Teddy Buchanan. I don't care. I'm confident that Nick Emanwari is going to be a player that we're going to look back on and say, how did he last till the whatever round?
Oh wait, put it back on there again. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want everyone of our viewers to look at that and see, get a moment and see what they think about this draft, and hopefully they will, give us some comments on what they think about.
Fair enough.
Who we drafted here. And I know everyone at first said, "You took Abdul Carter?" Yes, instead of Travis
Hunter.
Yeah, mm-hmm. We did. You would be happy with Abdul, believe me.
I'm sure you'd be happy with either one of them, and
right.
we would with Abdul. Right.
This one, we decided to go to Abdul Carter.
And keep in mind, we did not trade Brian Burns. I know that's what it says. We did not trade Brian Burns. We traded Javon Holland back to Miami.
Right.
For that pick number 48.
That would be if we could do that, that would be great to do that, man.
That would be great.
So I got an edge rusher, I got safety. people let me know. Do you like this? You like this? This is, what do you think about this mock draft we had there? 4 rounds. We definitely got a star. Our first round pick he's definitely gonna be the guy. He's
Right.
definitely gonna be the guy.
Yeah, I'm pleased with it. And like you said, I like to hear what other people think, but I'm pleased with it. I think this is a very solid draft.
Oh yeah, I like it.
And again, this is only 4 rounds. Like theoretically, we would then still have the 5th and 6th and 7th round. We don't have a 6th round pick, but we have 5th and 7th round picks. So if you're looking for, like, say, a kicker, or maybe that young man Thor Griffiths that I was talking about, might still be there in the 5th round. We could pick him in the 5th round. You pick a kicker to replace Graham Gano in the 7th round. We still have some options.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. This is a good day. And again, we're building on the last episode where we made that crazy move that I came up with to get to pick number 48.
You gotta watch that episode.
You gotta watch that episode. Because we got pick number 48. We did not give up Brian Burns. We gave back Javon Holland.
Right. So that would be
all right. So guys, listen, let us know what you think. Put a comment down, share it, talk it over with your friends. Let us know what y'all think.
Exactly.
Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. And who am I here with?
Man, Mayzo. It's all about Big Blue.
And a cameo appearance by Brian Daboll on my t-shirt.
I can't believe he showed them again. Oh God, Daboll, you lucky people won't be throwing tomatoes at you right now.
Exactly.
But definitely, definitely comment on it. We appreciate it. We'll get right back to you on it. Don't worry. We always here.
Oh yeah.
No matter what day it is, if it's regular season, off season, right now it's post Super Bowl. It's all about Big Blue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all. Until next time, y'all.
All right.
Peace. Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.